Oh, hi there, Sagittarius. Hi, Sagittarius. Welcome to Carol's Universe, Tarot Readings from the Heart. So this is your mid-month, um, June 2025 reading. I've decided to photograph the readings for this month because I wanted to do a larger spread. This is one that I usually would do on my website, and they're quite large, these spreads are, and they take up a hell of a lot of room on my desk. So I decided, you know what, because I've got so many of them, 12 to do, and often recording into the night, fiddling around with the lighting, and I have lighting stuff, but still all the same, it can, cause shadows and make the cards shiny and stuff. So I thought, you know what, I'm just going to photograph it like I would for one of the personal readings that I do for a client, and yeah, and just record, and you get to see everything this way really, really well. So you can see here, Sagittarius, that these are the 7 areas for the month. I've decided to put, I only came up with the idea to put the names over each, sort of, some of them, if you're watching other star signs on the channel, you'll see that some of them don't have these headings, and it's only because I came up with the idea, oh, why don't I put the headings over them so people know what they are. You got situation for the month in this area here, thoughts here, feelings here, hopes here. This column is fears. This column is the outcome for the month of June. And this column is all to do with the advice for the month. The cards on the outside here are the Lenormand cards that I'm using. So we've got key, fish, snake, and child. If you don't know what Lenormand is, it's another form of divination. I think it came about maybe in France, something like that. But it's 36 cards. This particular divination tool is. The child stands for things that are small or new, or it could be a literal child. The key is often the answer, or resolutions, or solutions found, or opportunities opening up. The fish is all to do with work and money. And the snake, sometimes this can be complications. Sometimes the snake can be to be wary. And sometimes the snake can be transformation. And sometimes it's a card about desire. Okay, so these are your overall advice cards for the month of June. And then I'm also using another deck of Lenormand here. This is the romantic Lenormand. So if you're a woman watching the channel Sagittarius, this card here, so the Lenormand is often directional, so you often read cards in terms of what the other one card is looking at. The woman is looking at the heart, so I decided in these areas here, this is what you really need to be focusing on for the month. So in this reading, if you're a woman, Sagittarius, you need to be focusing on the heart for the month of June, and if you're a man, you need to be focusing on the book, and we'll discuss what that is. These two cards are oracle cards. It's from the Universal Folk Oracle, so yeah, so we'll have a look at that for the advice of the month as well. There's lots of advice, I guess. This is the Angel Answers deck. Get more information before taking action in this area here. And then overall, I use my tea leaf cards here to do the reading as well. Lion, which says time to act, funny enough. Unicorn, use your intuition to make beneficial changes. And the Elephant, a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you I think it's wiser at the end. Okay, let's make a start on the reading then. Sorry I have to go through all that blurb, but because a lot of you guys, most of you actually won't know what these month aheads are, I thought it was really good just to kind of take you through it. So let's have a look. This is a situation that you could be facing for the month of June 2025, Sagittarians. So the situation is the Knight of... Sorry, that's the 8, of Cups in the reverse. I feel like a situation could be for some of you guys this month that it's difficult for the rest of June. It's almost like you're unwilling to move on from something. You don't want to walk away from it, because the 8 of Cups in the reverse can mean an unwillingness to walk away from something or to let go of something, or there's a fear about kind of releasing something in your life. You kind of stuck, or you're sticking with something, or you're wanting to stay with something. Sometimes the 8 of Cups in the reverse can also mean that you walk away part way, but part way through walking away from something you decide to return. So I suppose in and of itself that really is just saying, Sagittarius, that the situation for the rest of June 2025 is that some of you guys are probably going to be reluctant to walk away from something. How are you reacting to that? The 10 of Pentacles. I was going to say, what's the reason for this actually would make more sense. But this area here is how you react to the top card here. Okay. I feel like with the Ten of Pentacles, if you're reacting, and remember with tarot, we're trying to fit the words in around the cards, and then in order to do that, you have to break down what a card is. I mean, the Ten of Coins is all about comfortability and wealth, but wealth in every area. Wealth in happiness, wealth in relationships, wealth in money. Wealth in happiness and comfortability in your job, in your family life. All that. It's a card about financial security and stability. It's a card about the family. It's a card about lineage. It's a card about heritage, all of those things. So this is a card about being stable and being in a very strong, stable, long-term situation. It's a card about having a foundation that's been built over many, many, many years and upholding that tradition. I feel that the way that you react to the Eight of Cups in the reverse, either a situation where you don't want to let go or somebody else doesn't want to let go, is that you are kind of reacting in terms of almost like what you are, what's the word I'm looking like? Perhaps what you are conditioned to do. Because if you react like a Ten of Pentacles would react, you react in terms of, this is what I do, this is what I've always done, because it's within my DNA, or it's within my heritage, or it's within my family line, within my blood. This is what I've been conditioned to do. So it's almost like, I think the way that you react to that Eight of Cups in the reverse is by doing what you've always done. So if this is you with the Eight of Cups in the reverse, Sagittarius, who's not wanting to walk away from a situation and not being able to release something or let it go, you react to that behavior with the Ten of Coins energy, by staying where you are, because it's familiar with the Ten of Pentacles. It's what you're conditioned to do. You're comfortable where you are. You're settled where you are, and you're kind of like, I don't want to really let go of this. This is comfortable to me. This is what I know. This is what I'm conditioned to do. And that's it. What's the outcome? I feel like with the Four of Swords, I mean, usually with the outcome with the Four of Swords is, there's either no action being taken in a matter. So some of you guys, it literally feels like when I look at that that triplet of cards there, trio of cards, that a situation for the month of June it's about just not letting go of something, and it's because you're comfortable in it. You react to, it's almost like the excuse that you make for not walking away from it as well with the Ten of Coins, because we're reacting to something. It's almost like the excuse we're making for something. It's because there's a high level of value that you've put on this thing with the Ten of Pentacles. Okay, there's a high level of value. There's a high level of, can we say love with the Ten of Coins? If you really value something, you really care about it. So it's almost like you react to it in terms of saying, I really value this thing with the Ten of Pentacles. I have the utmost value because it's a number 10 for this thing, and therefore that's the reason why I don't want to let go of it. The outcome of the situation is with the Four of Swords. I just feel like you're staying put. You're staying put until otherwise, because the Four of Swords means I'm not taking any action. This can mean many things. The Four of Swords can mean taking a break. It can mean pausing, stepping away from pressure. It can mean all sorts of things, okay? Taking time to kind of think about stuff until you've gained more clarity on it. I feel like here, the outcome for this situation is that you are resting. You are not even just resting, but you're just taking your time before any further action is taken for yourself. So it's almost like you're waiting until it's almost like you're waiting until you're pushed, but you're not going to take any action. You're going to wait for something sort of really detrimental to happen before you even bother taking any action. So I just feel like with the Four of Swords, there's no action here being taken in this situation. You just kind of just stay where you are, because that's the most comfortable place to stay at or to be at. What are you thinking in the rest of June? I think for some of you guys, you're thinking that you got to have strength, you got to have courage, you got to be brave with the strength energy, and you've got to kind of, with the strength energy, be strong. And I feel the reason for that is because with the Seven of Coins, some of you guys are saying, I've put a lot of work into something here, and that could be why you're sticking with something here, because you've invested in this thing quite a bit. You put a lot of work into it, and so therefore your mindset is, you've got to be strong. You've got to be brave. You've got to be courageous. If you have to fight your corner, then you have to fight your corner, because I've invested so much in this thing. I've put a lot of work into something, and I've been really, really invested in it. What is the outcome of this? The outcome is the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. Nine of Pentacles reverse is a really interesting card to get, because the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse for me, often in the upright, this is a card about independence, financial independence. It can mean somebody's on their own, somebody's happily independent, happily on their own. It can also mean somebody's in the lap of luxury. It can also mean somebody has a high sense of value. I feel like the outcome with that card being reversed is it's almost like some of you guys aren't gaining something here. There's a sense of, I feel like when I look at the cards and your thinking is that you need to be strong, you need to be courageous, you need to be brave, you need to be a fighter perhaps with the strength energy, but also perhaps even to remain calm, because the strength card can mean calmness. But it's almost like your thoughts are, I'm going to be strong around this because I know that I'm in the right. I've put all this work in, all this effort in. I've really invested in this thing, and I'm not going to walk away from it. Okay, so therefore my thoughts are, be strong, weather the storm, because you've put lots of work into this. I feel like it's a tricky one to read in a way, with just fitting into these two very strong, resilient cards. The outcome being the Nine of Pentacles means, I feel like the outcome for some of you guys could mean that you go through a time of, I don't know whether there's any sort of financial implications here that you're going through with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse showing here. Because we have two sort of, it just feels like for some of you guys this could be work orientated. But the outcome of the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse could mean maybe there's some implication here in terms of your finances or your financial affluence, or maybe there's some form of an impact here financially for some of you guys with the Nine of Coins in the reverse. It could also be that even though you're staying strong in a situation mentally, because you've put a lot of work in to a situation with the Seven of Coins, the outcome could still mean that there's something in terms of the value that you hold that is being lost. The more that you hold on to something, the more that you lose something of yourself, whether that's money, whether that's value, whatever the case is. It's almost like you're holding on to something, but at the same time you're losing something whilst you're doing it, with the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. How are you feeling? Some of you guys unfortunately feeling the Nine of Swords, feeling really quite worried, quite anxious, I would think, with the Nine of Swords energy. And what's the reason for that? It's because of the Knight of Swords. Some of you guys feeling anxious, probably because you're being challenged with the with the Knight of Swords energy. Could be some news that's come to you as well with the Knight of Swords, some information. But also it could be that you're feeling really worried and anxious because you feel like you're being challenged, or you feel with this Knight of Swords energy, somebody's trying to impact you. Maybe there's some drama going on around you guys with the Knight of Swords in the reverse. I feel like there could be worry because somebody comes and says something to you. I think somebody comes at you with some news, with some information here. And I feel as a result of that, the outcome could be with the Lover's energy in the reverse, that perhaps there's a fallout, or maybe, you know, you fall. The Lovers in the reverse is often kind of, you know, the breakup card, or falling out with someone, or no longer being friends. It's almost like a friendship or something is impacted here with someone. Excuse me. So I feel like with the Lover's reverse, I feel like this Knight of Swords is somebody coming at you. I feel they're coming at you with some news, and I think that that's where the anxiety comes from. And I feel like the outcome is with the Lover's energy. Whether this is news coming to you, or whether this is somebody coming at you, something is coming to you from someone, and it's coming to you in quite probably an aggressive way. And I feel like the outcome with the Lovers in the reverse is perhaps a fallout. Perhaps there's a loss of communication as a result of that. For example, with the Lovers, there seems to be kind of some division in a partnership or a relationship that you have with someone as the outcome. What are you hoping for? The Six of Wands in the reverse. So I feel like if this is a hope, it's to overcome a challenging situation. Because the Six of Wands is to be the victor. It's to be it's to successfully surmount a situation. It's like the Six of Swords as well. Both cards come after those nasty fives. Five of Wands, challenges, conflict. The Five of Swords, disempowerment. Sorry, Five of Wands is, arguments and challenges and conflict and competition. And the Five of Swords is, again, conflict, disempowerment, again, arguments, the haves and have-nots, the fearless and the fearful. And I feel like with the Six of Wands in the reverse, your hopes, Sagittarius, would be to surmount, to overcome the challenge that you're facing. You're facing a Five of Wands moment, I think some of you guys are. Some sort of combat or conflict with others. And you're not willing to back down, and neither are they, I think. And your hope would be to be the victor, or even with the Six of Wands in the reverse, perhaps even to topple them, to take them down. What's the reason for that? I feel like the reason with the Nine of Cups is that you've got a dream, you've got a wish, you've got a desire to have, to reign supreme. It's almost like you want to overcome someone here, because if you think of what the Nine of Cups is, the Nine of Cups is often sitting smugly. So if you think of the traditional look of this card, where we get it, the traditional look of the Nine of Cups is a man sitting underneath 9 cups with his arms folded, and he's sitting very, very smugly, smiling away like cat that got the cream. If you look at the Six of Wands in the reverse, this is almost somebody losing the battle, losing the fight. So it's almost like your hope would be to perhaps take somebody down so you can get what you want. Because if you look at the Nine of Cups, usually that sits quite smug, and he's kind of self-satisfied amidst that Six of Wands reverse. It's almost like taking someone down so that you can say, you know what, I did it finally. I took you down and I got what I wanted. What will be the outcome of that then with the Sun? Well, there's potential for it, I think, because you've got the Sun card. And the Sun card, for me with the Tarot, there are 2 really good cards that show very good outcomes, that are very clear when they show a good outcome, and that is the Sun and the Chariot. If you get either one of those cards in an outcome, it's going to say, yeah, you don't, and they are always always bang smack on. Doesn't matter what reading you have in the Tarot, if you get either the Sun or the Chariot, both of those cards are going to be like, yeah, you did it, and they never fail, they never disappoint. Those cards don't. So I think here, you guys wanting to take somebody down so that you can get what you want, I think actually with that Sun energy you could pretty much do it, because the Sun is like, yeah, you did it, you got the success. What are your fears? I feel like with the Six of Cups, it could be something resuming itself for some of you guys from the past with the Six of Cups, but it also could be the fear of the Nine of, for me with the Six of Cups, because it's a card about childhood and naivety. For me, the Six of Cups can also be one of those cards that says, I don't know as much as I would like to know. So in a way, the Six of Cups for me can be a card about being kept in the dark, because naivety, when you're a child, and all children are naive, they're sensible and they're smart, but they're naive because they don't know, they don't have the experience. So for the Six of Cups, the fear with the Six of Cups for me could be being naive, or being in the dark, or not knowing as much as I would like to know with the Six of Cups energy. What's the reason for that? Why are you fearing the Six of Cups? I feel like for some of you guys, there's some form of an offer that is made to you. That's what I think. I think that there is some form of an offer here with this King of Cups energy here. Whatever this is coming to some of you guys, I think that some of you guys have some form of an offer here coming to you. Some form of help or gesture that is being made to you. But your fear is kind of, it's not the past with the Six of Cups, it's the naivety with the Six of Cups. So it's almost like something is being suggested or offered to you, Sagittarius, here, but you're kind of, with the Six of Cups, you're kind of saying, you know what, I fear kind of taking this offer, this gesture. Look how he's handing you the cup. When you get cups as well, they mean offers. They mean opportunities that come to you, because the cup is an open vessel, and if a cup is handed to you, it's saying drink of it. It's a gift. So something is always given when you get a cup being handed out to you. So I feel like for some of you guys, Sagittarius, there is a fear of this gift or this gesture. Could be a kindly gesture. Could be there's some sort of help or offer or something being given to you here, but there's a fear of kind of like, I don't know whether I should take this because I don't really know enough about it. It's almost like there's a fear of being set up. It's almost like there's a fear of being given something or offered something, but it's almost like you're feeling like there's something behind this because of the naivety of the Six of Cups. Any of these cards can turn into anything. You don't always have to read a Six of Cups as a child card, or children, or you don't always have to read it as so when I say children, I mean having a child, for example, or having little kids that you could look after, or having a little brother or a little sister, or you don't always have to read this card as the past or something to do with memory or reminiscence or something like that. You can also read it as literally being naive, because that's what children are. Unfortunately, they often don't know. Well, 100% of the time, really. That I mean, some kids can be very self-aware, but I mean, just having a life experience. And I feel like the fear for some of you Sagittarians is, I want to be able to smell the roses, smell the coffee. And if you look here, this is the flowers. They're not roses, but it's almost like we talk about things like rose tinted glasses. And this head, whatever this person's wearing, or this child is wearing on their head, looks like kind of like little Red Riding Hood. Like whoever is behind that flower could be like the fox saying, "There you go, take the flowers from me." So it's almost like there's a fear of being naive and not being, self-aware enough, because there's something that is being given to you by this supposed King of Cups. But I think there's a lack of trust in somebody who's giving something to you, and you're kind of or making a gesture or offering something to you. How should you approach that fear? I feel like with the Emperor energy, you need to own this Six of Cups, because the Emperor is taking charge of things. The Emperor is being disciplined. The Emperor is adhering to a particular structure. The Emperor is about research. The Emperor is about knowledge. The Emperor is all about skill, and it's about know-how. So I feel like with the Emperor energy that you need to kind of adhere to whatever your intuition is telling you. I feel like with the Emperor energy here, you need to kind of be accountable or hold to account what you're feeling, if that makes any sense, because I feel like there is a real fear here of being naive or making a mistake with the Six of Cups, if you like, because somebody is giving you something or making a gesture or offering something to you, but you don't trust it, because when you're naive, and if you fear being naive, that kind of speaks to the idea of lack of trust. If somebody was to say to me tomorrow, for example, Sagis, Carol, do you want to invest in this particular idea? And say I had a couple of grand spare, but I didn't know much about the idea, or I didn't know much about the new project. I would fear being naive and giving away my £2,000 and probably losing it, because I didn't have enough knowledge of what it is that this person was gifting to me. So therefore, with the Emperor energy, perhaps for some of you guys, the outcome could be, or how you need to approach the naivety is go to somebody who has the wisdom as well, because Emperors, they're like Hierophants. They're very similar. Like the Emperor for me is like the brother of the Hierophant. They've got a lot of knowledge and a lot of intellect and a lot of know-how, and a lot of skill. So I feel like how you react to the naivety of the Six of Cups. And if you think about it, the Emperor is the father of this child. So what is the role of a mother and a father? The role of a mother and a father is to teach the child, is to mentor the child. So speaking to your fear of being naive, how you react to that naivety, that fear of being naive of this person's offer or gesture, is with this Emperor energy to ask somebody who is wise, to get some sort of guidance, to get some sort of information from this individual. If this isn't you kind of taking ownership of this, then this is definitely for me you going to someone who can kind of give you some sort of advice and guidance, somebody who's probably a lot more wiser and a lot more sort of keyed up in whatever this opportunity is that is coming to you, Sagittarius. What is the outcome for the month? Justice reversed. So I feel like the outcome for the month could be you're facing a situation with justice reversed that means that there's a lack of fairness in a situation. You might be facing some dishonesty as well. There could be something perhaps tapping into something legal happening around you as well. But I feel like there's some sort of lack of honesty, or and I don't think it's a lack of fairness. I think it's a lack of honesty with the justice in the reverse, or you're not being, or I feel like if it's a lack of fairness, it's because with the justice and energy in the reverse, some of you guys, Sagittarius, might be being given, and this could tap into this area here where you're kind of like, you know what, I'm fearing being naive, I'm fearing being silly or stupid or making a silly mistake or choice, because somebody is offering me something here that I don't necessarily think about. The witch from Little Red Riding Hood offering, and that's Little Red Riding Hood there. The wolf is probably behind the flower pot. We can't see it, but probably behind the flower pot. And that's probably the Wicked Witch of the West giving the poisoned chalice to you, the naive Red Riding Hood. Do you see what I mean? Or whoever it is from a fairy tale. So this could definitely, I think, with the outcome being justice reversed, speak to that King of Cups there being not as King of Cups as this person should be, but putting on, you know how they say sometimes with the King of Cups, it covers itself up with this massive cloak. It's not all that it makes itself out to be. The outcome being justice reversed could be that something unfair is done, or an unfair decision is levied against you, and the reason for that is because of the Knight of Cups. So the reason for something being unfair or being dishonest is because of I think this, again, it keeps coming up with something that is offered to you. I think Sagittarius, by the end of June, possibly going into July, it's not right, it's not fair. It's like you're given something. Both of these cards are indicating something that is given to you. Your fear is that you're going to be naive, but there's something, and the naivety could also be because you're not getting what is fair or what is right or what is meant to be apportioned to you. You're not getting something that is fairly given to you. It's almost like you're being given something, but it's not the right thing that you were given. It's like you're given something, but you should have been given more. And it's because something is given to you with the Knight of Cups, but it's almost like something is given to you, but it looks like the person that's giving it is saying, yeah, I'm giving you this through the goodness of my heart. But really, it's almost like your intuition, Sagittarius, is saying, this isn't being given to me through the goodness of their heart. They're giving this to me to, because of whatever. Maybe it's to get rid of me. Maybe it's, to appease me, whatever it is. But it's almost like in these four cards here, Six of Cups, Justice Reverse, Knight of Cups, and King of Cups, it's almost like something is being given to you, but it's being done very, very, very unfairly. And it's being done not to truly help you, but to probably appease the person that's doing it. How do you approach this justice in the reverse? I feel like with the Hermit energy, you need to ask more questions. Hermits are researchers and they get into the detail. So the outcome being a situation the outgoing situation for June is something unfair that is done. Could be something legal, whatever the case may be. But I feel like because it's not fair, and because it's not balanced, and because it's not exactly true, there's some dishonesty going on here. I feel like how you approach that, because you'll know it's dishonest and you'll know it's not fair, you do it with this Hermit energy. Again, getting into the finer details and asking questions and saying, you know what, I need more clarity around this and why this has been done. Can you fill me in on this with this Hermit's lamp? The advice for the month is the Six of Swords in the reverse. Tricky one, really. I feel like you shouldn't leave the battle, because Six of Swords in the upright is all about leaving the battle. It's about moving to calmer waters. I think for me, with Six of Swords in the reverse, you got to kind of stay where you are, and that might be why you were there right at the beginning, the situation being the Eight of Cups in the reverse. You weren't going anywhere. You were going to stay put. Okay, you're not willing to let go or release something here. because at the end of the day, you know, it's just the same thing here. You've worked for it. You've worked hard for it. And that's why your thoughts are, I've got to stay strong because I've worked hard for this thing. Now, yeah, you might be losing something of value. That could be it. The outcome could be because of this, you lose something of value, perhaps. But I feel like with the outgoing advice being that you need to kind of Six of Swords reversed, you know, this is no time to move away from you've just got to kind of, you know, you got to stay in that fight. You might be tired, you might be warm, but you got to stay in the fight. Six of Swords reverse. And why is that? I feel with the Page of Wands, there's probably something new that's going to come out of this, because the Page of Wands is a new opportunity that can be explored. So I feel like the reason for that is because there's something here that can be explored. There's something new that could come from this with this Page of Wands in the upright showing here. How do you make the month of June a good one? I feel like you've just got to seek some advice with the Hierophant. I think you've really got to seek some advice on the situation here. And you've got to get advice from a very reputable, wise person with the Hierophant energy. I also feel that you've got to have trust and you've got to have faith as well with that Hierophant energy showing there. Okay, let's have a look at the advice cards that we're looking at here. I think if you're a woman and you're watching this video, Sagittarius, you need to focus on family, people that you love as well for the month of June, because you're looking at the heart. Focus on things that bring emotional fulfillment to you with the heart energy showing there. Some of you guys might even need to focus on opening up your heart, you know, opening up, expressing your feelings about certain things this month. I think if you're a man, I think that you need to look at getting the truth on a situation, because the book can represent that things that are hidden. I think that you need to focus on educating yourself or getting some form of education with the book energy showing here as well. In terms of these four cards, key, fish, child, and snake. Okay, so I feel like, okay, so I would say here that some of you guys may desire money or desire a financial opportunity or desire maybe to make more money. I feel if that's the case, you need to explore new opportunities to do that. I feel like if you're having problems with money, with the snake and the fish, because snake and fish can mean a desire to make money, but it can also mean sort of, you know, difficulties with money. It can also mean sort of working with somebody who's really good at business, because you've got this snake card, and that can be a business lady there, and this can be kind of like your business card, your money card, that type of thing. You need to be exploring new opportunities. So there could be somebody around you as well who's basically bringing in new opportunities for you to explore here in terms of business and finances this month. The cards here, the Angel Answers card, get more information, take action. I feel like you need to get more information on a situation though, Sagittarius, before you take any affirmative action, okay, with these two cards. The tea leaf cards are saying it is time to act, but you need to use your intuition to make beneficial changes, because I think there's a long journey ahead of you, either physical or mental, and it will leave you wiser at the end. So yeah, time to act, but use your intuition, because in order to make beneficial changes, because there's a long journey ahead of you, either physical or mental, but it will leave you wiser at the end. Finally, authenticity. Can I see this card? Let me just bring this in, guys. So authenticity, individual, uniqueness, self and love, and uniqueness, perfect, self and honor. So let's just read those. Let's just get the booklet here. Sorry, I had to drag that in. I hope you guys can still see. Oh, hang on. That's the thing. What it is that I have this on. There we go. I'm using Cyberlink to do screen record on this. So let's have a look. 33 first. Ascent. No, that's not it. That's authenticity. I think it's 35, isn't it? Is that 35? Let's have a look. 35. So, yeah, authenticity. So, look to your authentic being today. I would say for the rest of the month, Sagittarius, to resolve a decision or find a solution. The girl and her companion stand proud. They are self-assured and aware of their uniqueness. They do not need to justify their choices or convictions, but instead hold steady and strong. The girl stands out in her ornate crown and wears it well, a sign of her connection to divine knowing and self-awareness. The throat chakras are protected by expensive yarn, which resonates an authentic voice. She carries a quartz point for clarity, and sodalite essence in a vial, over a heart for pureness of intent in her communication. Sometimes being true to yourself goes against the tide. If something doesn't feel right, it is a good sign that it is pulling you away from the very core essence of you. You may need to stand alone in your conviction, but be gentle and be fair. Your authentic self will guide the way. And then finally, uniqueness, which is number 12. Let's have a look at the message from that. Right, uniqueness. Celebrate the uniqueness of all things today. Explore how nature does not conform, no matter how complex the design. Be at home in your expression of being. Know you are perfect as intended. Okay. Yeah, so that is your reading for the rest of June 2025. And I'll try and record something in July. I'm going on holiday at some point in July. So I'm not going to quite be around for about a week or so. One of the weeks. I'm not sure which week yet. I'll see what I can get. But yeah, I'll try and record something before I go. Okay? Take care, loves. Take care. Bye-bye.